Okay, so here we are inside the cockpit of a Jet Ranger, and just a quick overview of the pilot controls and the flight instrumentation. We can start here at the collective. On the collective, you'll notice that we have two landing lights, a low and a high. You can also adjust the governor from the collective. And on the side, there's a little red button for the ident. So, kind of helps you out when you're doing instrument training to have some of this down here on the collective. If we move up to the cyclic, we can use this hat here to transfer comm frequencies to on radio 1 and as well as radio 2. This swap button here will flip the frequencies for you. The one from standby will go to the active frequency, all without you ever having to take your hand off the cyclic. This is a unique feature to this helicopter. First I've seen it. It's a recorder. It basically records the last 30 or 40 transmissions that come across the radio, and you can hit the button and it'll play the transmission back. Now, if you hit the button again, it goes back to the previous and to the previous and so on. So this is a really handy feature. If you didn't quite catch that radio call from ATC, you could just hit the button there and it'll play back in your pilot headsets. Alright, moving up the panel, we've got the Garmin 330. Displays the traffic up onto our flight display if we are within a TIS area. We got our number 2 nav and comm. We've got the Garmin 530 and the PS Engineering audio panel with altitude alarm, traffic, and auxiliary for music. Moving up to the panel, you'll notice your engine and transmission instrumentations are there for pressure and temperature, fuel, how much fuel you have on board. This helicopter holds, of course, 91 gallons. Your load and your fuel pressure here. Moving up to the top again, you got your torque indication. This is basically the percentage of power you're asking the engine to produce. Your TOT, your gas producer. You got a Davtron flight timer here. Airspeed, engine RPM, or excuse me, rotor RPM and transmission RPM indication. HSI, head indicator, your static instruments, and your turn slip indicator. We also have a Shadden fuel flow instrumentation here. It tells us how much fuel we're actively using, how much we need to our destination, how long we can fly at the current power setting, you know, that sort of thing. Really handy to have. And then we have the free flight altimeter. Tells us, so radar altimeter tells us exactly how far we are off the ground. So it gives you an instantaneous AGL at all times. If we kind of pan back here, you'll notice on each side of the instrument panel we do have vents. We can have the blower on, or we can select to have air conditioning on. I have mounted up here a little traffic box. Now this is what's called a passive collision avoidance system. It simply reads the replies of other transponders and displays that information here on the screen. Very handy when you're at low and slow around congested airports. All the aircraft pop up here on the Garmin 496. If we go up to overhead, it's where all of our circuit breakers are located. There's several rows of them there, and avionics master switch there. Here's how we operate the air conditioning system. Master switch, generator, and various lights, rheostat, and then also we are equipped with the rotor brake here, which is kind of handy if you're in a hurry to walk away from the helicopter. You can get the blade stopped and tie it down. Okay, that is your introduction to the cockpit of the Jet Ranger.